They called her Bush Girl, but she was the only one who got a scholarship abroad. Or so everyone thought. But what if the real story began long before the announcement? In the quiet corners of a heart that refused to break. Come closer, dear listener. Let me tell you the full tale of Adaora is a girl whose name would one day travel farther than any plane could carry her. Adaora was born under a thatched roof in a small village where the harmattan wind carried stories from house to house. Her father, Chukwuma, had once been a bright student who won a government scholarship to study engineering in England. He returned with big dreams, but love for a gentle village teacher named Gozi pulled him back to the soil. They built a happy home, planted yam ridges, and welcomed their only child, Adaora. Then tragedy struck. A sudden fever took both parents in the same rainy season. Adaora was barely 2 years old. Grandma Neka, her father's mother, wrapped the crying child in a wrapper, boarded a night bus, and brought her to Lagos. The city has schools, she told herself. The city has light, but the city also had sharp tongues and sharper eyes. They rented one small room in a face me, I face you compound. Water came from a single tap outside. Nipa took light more than it gave it. Yet every morning, Grandma Neka tied her wrapper tight, sold akara and pap by the roadside, and made sure Adaora's school fees were paid before anything else. Adaora started primary school with second-hand uniforms and sandals that flapped when she walked. The other children wore crisp white shirts and shoes that shone. They spoke English the way it sounded on television. Adaora spoke it with the music of the village still dancing on her tongue. On her very first day, a boy named Chidi pointed and laughed. See this Bush Girl? She talks like she's chewing cola nut. The name stuck like glue. Bush Girl. They shouted it in the playground, whispered it in class, wrote it on the blackboard when the teacher stepped out. Adaora cried only once at home, face buried in Grandma's wrapper. Grandma stroked her hair and said softly, "My child, the Iroko tree does not argue with the wind. It simply grows taller." From that day, Adaora stopped crying. She started watching. She watched how the popular children answered questions quickly, how they copied notes neatly, how they smiled at teachers, and she copied them quietly, perfectly. By the time she reached secondary school, Adaora was a shadow that moved through corridors without sound. She sat at the back, hair neatly plaited in simple lines, skirt always ironed. She never joined the gossip circles or the dance groups. Instead, she stayed late in the library, reading every book she could borrow. Science fascinated her most. The way leaves turn sunlight into food reminded her of village stories about the Earth Mother feeding her children. The way numbers balanced on both sides of an equation felt like justice. Her classmates still called her Bush Girl, but now there was a new edge to it: envy. Adaora began topping the class in tests, quietly, without celebration. Mr. Obi, their physics teacher, noticed first. He would pause after marking scripts, look over his glasses, and say, "Adaora is full marks again." Chidi, who loved being first, felt the ground shift beneath him. Amaka, who believed beauty and confidence were enough, felt her smile tighten. Emeka, the gentle boy who struggled with speaking, simply admired her from afar. One afternoon, the principal assembled the entire senior secondary school in the hall. "A big opportunity has come," he announced. "An American university is offering one full scholarship to a Nigerian student, tuition, accommodation, feeding, flight ticket, everything paid for years. The subject is biomedical sciences. They want the best mind, not the richest family." The hall erupted. Cheers, screams, dreams spoken aloud. Chidi stood up and declared, "That scholarship is mine." Everyone clapped for him. He was class captain, debate champion. His father drove a big car. Adaora sat still, heart pounding like a talking drum. Biomedical sciences, that was the path to understanding sickness, to finding cures, maybe even to stopping fevers from stealing parents. She said nothing, but that night she told Grandma Neka. The old woman's eyes filled with tears. "Your father would dance in his grave," she whispered. "Go and bring it home." The competition had 3 stages: a written exam open to the whole school, an essay and project submission, and a final interview with the American selection panel over video call. Hundreds registered. Adaora registered too, writing her name small and neat, The first exam day arrived. Students wore their best uniforms. Mothers prayed outside the gate. Adaora wore her usual washed and ironed skirt, but Grandma had starched it extra stiff. She carried only her pen, her ID card, and a small nylon bag with gari and groundnut for energy. The questions were hard: advanced biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics. Many students came out crying. Chidi came out boasting. Easy. Amaka came out unsure. Adaora came out silent. 2 weeks later, the list of those moving to stage 2 was pasted on the notice board. Only 20 names. Adora's name sat quietly in the middle. Chidi's was there. Amaka's was not. She cried for days. Emika's was there too, a surprise to everyone. Now the mockery changed flavor. Bush girl thinks she can go to America, they whispered. She will disgrace us. Someone tore her project poster when it was displayed in the corridor. Someone poured water on her chair before assembly. Adaora cleaned it up without complaint and sat on the wet seat. Grandma saw the damp skirt that evening and said nothing, only pressed Adora's head to her chest. For the project, students had to research a health problem and propose a scientific solution. Chidi wrote about expensive machines for hospitals. Emika wrote about clean water filters. Adaora wrote about a common village plant, bitter leaf, and how its compounds could fight malaria parasites. She spent weekends at the market asking herbal sellers questions, evenings in the library reading research papers Mr. Obi printed for her, nights drawing chemical structures by lantern light. She titled her work, "From Bush to Bedside: Nature's Gifts Against Malaria." The day of project presentation came. Each student stood before 3 judges, 2 Nigerian professors, and 1 American woman on a laptop screen. When Adora's turn came, she walked to the front carrying only a small basket of fresh bitter leaves and her handwritten charts. She spoke slowly, clearly, explaining how villagers had used the plant for centuries, how modern science was now proving why it worked, how it could be turned into cheap medicine for millions. The American woman, Dr. Helen Carter, leaned closer to the screen. "Young lady," she said, "this is brilliant. Have you tested it yourself?" Adaora smiled shyly. "Only on mosquitoes in a bottle, ma. They died." The room laughed, but it was kind laughter. Dr. Carter smiled wide. Chidi's presentation was loud and confident, full of big words. But when asked a hard question, he stumbled. Emika spoke softly but honestly. When the judges left to decide the final 10 for interviews, the school buzzed. That evening, something happened that shook Adaora. She came home to find Grandma on the floor, clutching her chest. The neighbors rushed her to the clinic. High blood pressure. The doctor warned she must rest. No more frying akara from 4 in the morning. Adaora sat by the bed all night, holding the old hand. "Ni, I will win this scholarship," she whispered. "I will take you to good hospitals. I promise." Grandma squeezed her fingers weakly. "Win or lose, you are already my pride." The final 10 names came out. Adaora was there. Chidi was there. Emika too. 7 others. The interview day was set. Each student would speak to the full American panel for 15 minutes. The night before the interview, disaster struck. Adora's only good blouse, the white one she saved for special days, was stolen from the line where it dried. She searched everywhere. Nothing. She had only school uniforms. Tears came, hot and angry. Grandma, still weak in bed, said, "Wear your school uniform. It is clean. It is honest." That is enough. So Adaora ironed her white shirt and blue skirt until they shone. Interview day. The school computer lab was turned into a studio. One by one, students went in. Chidi came out sweating. They asked tricky questions. Emika came out calm. When Adora's name was called, she walked in head high. The panel greeted her warmly. Dr. Carter was there again. They asked about her project, about challenges she faced, about why she wanted to study abroad. Adaora answered every question with quiet fire. When they asked, "What will you do if you don't win?" she replied, "I will still find a way to learn and help my people." The panel was silent for a moment. Then Dr. Carter said, "Thank you, Miss Ease." Weeks of waiting followed. Grandma got better slowly. Adaora helped sell akara in the mornings, attended classes, studied for final exams. Rumors flew Chidi's father had donated computers to the school. Maybe that would help. Someone said a big uncle was calling America on Chidi's behalf. Then the day arrived. The entire school gathered again. The principal held an envelope. His voice shook as he spoke. The American University has made their decision. There is only one scholarship, and the winner is... He paused so long the hall held its breath. Adaora is. The hall exploded. Some cheered. Some sat stunned. Chidi's face went pale. Adaora stood frozen, tears rolling down her cheeks. Mr. Obi rushed to hug her. Emeka smiled wide. Even some who had mocked her clapped slowly. But jealousy is a stubborn spirit. That afternoon, angry parents gathered at the principal's office. How can a bush girl beat our children? There must be a mistake. They demanded a review. The scholarship organizers agreed to double-check everything. For 2 weeks, Adaora lived in fear. Every day she went to school wondering if it would be taken away. The review came back clean. Adaora had won fairly highest scores in every stage. But something else came to light. Chidi had paid another student to sneak him answers during the first exam. He was disqualified from future competitions. His father stormed out of the school in shame. Adora's victory was now unquestioned. The American embassy called. Visa appointment set. Tickets booked. The day she received her acceptance letter, Grandma danced in the room despite her weak heart, singing old village songs of triumph. Packing day came. Adaora had one suitcase. Inside, a few clothes, her father's old photograph, Grandma's Bible, a small bag of bitter leaf seeds for remembrance, and every notebook she had ever filled. Neighbors brought small gifts, biscuits, soap, anointing oil. Mr. Obi gave her a new scientific calculator. Emeka shyly handed her a handwritten note. You taught me I can also dream big. At the airport, half the school came to see her off. Even Chidi came. He stood apart, then walked up. Adaora, I'm sorry for everything. His voice cracked. She looked at him kindly. We all grow up one day, she said. Use your strength for good now. He nodded. Eyes wet, Grandma held her longest. Go and shine, my Iroko tree, she whispered. Come back and light the way for others. On the plane, Adaora looked down as Lagos disappeared beneath clouds. She touched a small pouch of bitter leaf seeds in her pocket and smiled. Life in America was not easy at first. Cold winters bit her skin. Food tasted strange. Some classmates asked ignorant questions. Do you have lions in your backyard? She laughed and taught them about Nigeria. Homesickness came in waves. But Adaora remembered the mockery, the stolen blouse, the wet chair, Grandma's illness. Those memories became fuel. She studied harder than ever. Her village knowledge gave her unique ideas. In her second year, she joined a research lab studying plant medicines. She proposed testing bitter leaf compounds further. Tihi professor agreed. The results were stunning. The plant showed strong promise against resistant malaria strains. Her name appeared on a published paper. Scholarships and awards followed. She sent money home. Grandma moved to a better room, saw good doctors, rested from frying akara. Years flew. Adaora graduated with highest honors. She earned a master's, then a PhD at DDDDHEHE. Her work led to a new affordable malaria treatment, now saving lives across Africa. She returned home often, building a foundation that sends village children to school, blending traditional knowledge with modern science. One quiet evening, years later, Grandma called her close. There is something I kept from you, she said softly. She brought out old letters yellow with age. They were from Adora's father to a friend in America Dr. Helen Carter's husband. Years ago, Chukwuma had asked him to watch for a bright child from his bloodline. When the scholarship program began, the friend quietly guided the judge's attention toward Nigeria and toward Adora's school. He never interfered with marks, only made sure her brilliance was seen. Adaora wept. All along, her father's dream had stretched across oceans to lift her. She looked at Grandma. So it wasn't just me? Grandma smiled. It was you, my child. The ancestors only opened the door. You walked through with fire in your feet. Adaora went on to become a world-renowned scientist, a bridge between village wisdom and global knowledge. Children in her old school no longer called anyone bush girl as an insult. They said it with pride when speaking of her. Our own bush girl who touched the stars. And the deepest lesson of all, every child carries seeds of greatness. Some are mocked, some are ignored, some are helped early. But the ones who water their own seeds with quiet determination, who refuse to let storms uproot them, those are the ones who grow into forests that shelter the world. And as the evening sun sets gently on our tale, dear friend, may Adaora's journey remind you that no name meant to shame you can stop the destiny written in your spirit. If this long and heartfelt story has stirred something inside you, hope, courage, or even tears, then carry it forward. Like the video if it touched you. Share it with someone who needs to hear that their beginning does not decide their ending. Drop a comment telling us which part moved you most, or share your own story of rising above. Subscribe and turn on the bells so that the next tale of strength, wisdom, and triumph finds you quickly. Together, let us keep these stories alive, passing light from heart to heart across the world. Thanks for watching. Stay blessed, and see you in the next beautiful tale.